G'day and welcome. In this video, we are going to be covering where to and how to install Nexus Mod Manager. You might be asking yourself, why would I want to know or why would I need Nexus Mod Manager or a mod manager of any type? And well, let me tell you, you need one if you're going to get into modding. Pretty much whenever you install a mod, you've got to download that mod, unpack it, then send all the files in that mod to the correct location. If you don't send it to the correct location, you could break your game, the mod might not just work, or both. So yeah, with a mod manager, what that does is it unpacks it for you, it sends it to wherever it needs to go for you, and it keeps track of what mods you have installed. So before mod managers, you had to do all that on your own. So you'd have to make a list of what mods you had installed, what files were in those mods, so that if you wanted to remove that mod, you'd then have to go back through and remove each and every single one of those folders. And if multiple mods change the same file, then you pretty much had to, hopefully you'd have a backup of those files to restore so you could keep your other mods working and remove that one single mod. Needless to say, it was an absolute pain and headache, and yeah, I can't recommend mod managers highly enough, to be honest. They just make things so much easier. So that's the why out of the way. The where and the how, well, we'll do that on my gaming laptop, although it is relatively old, so the frame rate and stuff might not be the best on that rig. But we'll just be covering the install and the where to get the install from. And then we'll be back over onto this rig. And with that, I'll see you over on the gaming laptop. Okay, the first thing you want to do is go to whatever internet program you use, whether it be Chrome, Internet Explorer, or Firefox, what have you. Head over to Google, type in Nexus Mod Manager, and up the top, or the top few actually, should be Nexus Mod Manager. This is the home page, and straight away, right up the top here, on every page on Nexus, I believe, you'll find the install file, so it doesn't matter how you get here as long as you get to the right Nexus site, which there's only one, I believe. And there is a plethitude of games that mods are available. Now, unfortunately, the mod manager that we're going to download doesn't support all of these games. Just a small handful, like 12 or 13, I think. But for the games that I play, and for the games that you most likely play if you're on this channel, it'll do. And for the ones that you do want to mod that aren't available, there's always manual modding or other mod tools available, but that's out of the scope for this video. So first up, we're going to click that to kick off the install. Right, here we go. So we want this one, or I want this one anyway. If you're on Windows XP still, for whatever reason, then you want this link. But for Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8, and or Windows 10 users, you want this one. So we're just going to click that. Don't worry too much if this pops up, just click the link. And it should begin downloading straight away. If not, it might prompt you on where you want to install it. I'd recommend installing it somewhere outside of your C drive, which is where your operating system is. But in any case, this is just the installer file, so we can always track that down and move that to wherever we want, really. Okay, there's my McPhee kicking in, scanning in the download, making sure that there's nothing harmful in it. I know there's nothing harmful in it, so go away you, thank you. Okay, it's ready to go. So from here you can just click that and launch it straight away. Show in folder. Me personally, I like to go to wherever it's gone, which in my case it's downloads. Get the mod manager. I'll get the install file, I should say, cut it. And where are we? Games. I've already got a folder specially for it. Paste. And I'll run it from there. Now we don't need that up anymore. Okay, and from here we just double click the install. It'll prompt you, click yes. There's no malicious wear in here. It's not going to do any damage to your system. But even though I know that it's not going to do any damage, I still prefer not to install it into my into the same hard drive that my operating system is on. So, yep, we want English if you're a different language user, which from the looks of it, Dutch is the only other language, but we want English. We can get rid of that now. I recommend reading the license and terms of agreement. Like, you never know what might be in these things. I've read this a dozen times already, so I'll agree to it. Next. Community fixes, so just letting you know what's going on. Next. Okay, where would you like to install it? Now, straight away, it wants to install it to C drive, program files, Nexus Mod Manager. I don't want it to go there because that is where my OS is, my operating system. So I'm going to move it to my games folder, to the Nexus folder that I had pre-set up, and into the folder labeled Nexus. There we go, it's changed. Next. Okay, what do we have here? Setup will create program shortcut in the following start menu folder. That's okay. Don't create shortcut. No, I like a shortcut. I'll show you why in just one moment. Create desktop shortcut, yes. If you don't want to create it, click that. Uncheck it. If you do want to create it, check it. I recommend leaving the rest of these checked as is, and then just hitting next. Okay, now it's just giving you a quick rundown on everything so far, and then just hit install. And then depending on your machine, it should only take a few seconds to install Nexus. Okay, the install is finished. Now let's launch Nexus. As soon as you launch it, it'll start scanning for games. Now on this laptop, I have only got one game installed to show you what happens with the install. As soon as it finds it, click OK. If you know you don't have it, you can speed up the process by going no, 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 and just hitting the X's. Once it searches all the folders and finds that it doesn't have the game, it'll stop scanning automatically, or you can just hit stop scanning. Stop searching, sorry. Okay, we've only got one game. Okay. You'll be prompted with this menu. You can hit this one, which means that whichever one you have selected, it'll automatically jump straight to that profile. Don't worry, you can change this later on, so I'll leave it checked just to show you. Hit OK. Now you'll be prompted with a window to set up the pathways. Now this is where Nexus is going to store all the mods you download and all the information it needs. So just hit OK. Now, you can change these. I usually recommend, as long as it's not in your OS folder, to just leave it wherever Nexus wants to install it. If you do want to change it, feel free to change it. I wouldn't recommend changing this one, but yeah, go nuts. If you do change things and for whatever reason it doesn't work with you, just uninstall, reinstall, and then yeah, just leave it as is. Okay, finish. Nexus should start. Yep, you currently don't have any files categories set up. Yep, that's okay. Just hit OK or yes. Okay, now, here we have it. That's a bit big. That'll do. Okay. So this will be the first one. If you don't like this view, like where it's all categorized, I actually prefer this view, which it will show you which mods you have straight up. So if you only have a couple mods, this view probably isn't for you because you're like, oh, is it under that? No. Is it under that? No. Is it under that? No. Whereas this one straight up shows you where everything is. Now, if you want to change, you just hit the little arrow here, and all the games that you have installed will pop up in this menu. If you want to change the default, hit change default game. And then it will ask you again to change the default game, or you can just unselect that. And it'll go off again. Now, if you do have that unchecked and you don't have a default game set up, every time you launch Nexus, it'll prompt you to select a game. Now that's okay for some people, but me, I'm usually only really modding one game at a time. So I like to have my default game set up, whichever one I'm mucking around with. So as soon as I launch it, it goes straight to there. Okay, and that's it. You have just successfully downloaded and installed Nexus Mod Manager. Now, don't worry that I've done all this with The Witcher 2. All the steps are exactly the same for any one of the games supported by Nexus. Okay, don't worry if the search doesn't find it. Find whatever game you're looking for. With one of these, all you need to do is hit stop, click on that, and then locate it wherever it is in your system, wherever you have it installed. Okay, yes, we want to verify that is correct. Okay, stop scanning and okay. And with that, we are finished on this computer. I'll see you back over onto my main rig. And welcome back to my main gaming rig. Well, with that, we have installed Nexus Mod Manager, and we are ready to start downloading our mods. I'll leave that for the next episode because I want to go in depth a bit with what you need to look at when going onto a mod page and all that sort of general stuff. As well as with Nexus, something to keep in mind is that when you first download and all that, to use their website, you will need to create an account. But don't worry, it's completely free, 100%. It won't ask you for credit card information to verify who you are, anything like that. It is 100% free. It will ask you from time to time if you'd like to make a donation. That's entirely up to you. As well as when you're creating your account, it will ask you if you want to be a premium member or a normal member. Again, that's up to you, but there is no obligation to sign up to anything or give them any money. You just need to create the account and enjoy downloading mods to your heart's content. Okay, in the next episode, we'll look at downloading a mod and installing it and testing it. Thank you for joining me. It's been nice having you here. Please leave any feedback or comments in the comment section below. If you feel that I've missed something or touched over something a bit too briefly and you'd like me to go into more detail about it, please let me know and I'm more than happy to. Rightio guys, well, I'll see you next time, and in the meantime, have fun.